Hello and welcome to the Happier Life podcast. I'm Clare and today I want to talk about something that is genuinely hard to admit when it's happening to you. You've built a successful career, you worked hard for it, the achievements are real, the recognition was earned, people know you for what you do. Your career is woven into how you understand yourself, and it doesn't feel like you anymore. Not because it went wrong, not because you failed. In many ways, it's because you succeeded. You built exactly what you set out to build. And now, sitting inside it, something doesn't fit. The story other people can see is a success story, and the feeling you're privately carrying doesn't match that story at all. That's a very specific and very lonely kind of discomfort. And I want to talk about what's actually happening when that feeling arrives. Let me name the feeling before I explain it. It often starts as a kind of flatness, not dramatic, not a breakdown, just a quieting of something that used to be there. The work used to energize you, even when it was hard. Now it's just hard. You go through the motions competently, but without the inner fuel that used to make it feel like yours. For some, it's a sense of playing a role rather than living a reality, like wearing a costume you designed with great intention and now can't quite remember why it felt right. For others, it's more specific, a growing awareness that the values being asked of you at work, or the version of yourself you have to be to succeed in your environment, are not actually your values. And maintaining the gap between who you are and who you have to be is costing you more than it used to. Notice what any of that stirs up in you, because the specifics of what you're recognizing is your signal. That's what needs your attention. And I want to say this clearly. This is not ingratitude. This is not weakness. This is not a midlife cliche. This is an identity signal from a part of you that built something significant, and it deserves to be taken seriously. Identity built around a career is one of the most common and least examined forms of identity in professional women, and it's understandable. Work provides structure, it provides purpose, external validation, and a clear sense of what you're looking for, what you're for. It answers the question of who you are in the most legible way available. This is what I do, and this is how well I do it. The problem with career based identity is that it's contingent. It depends on the career continuing to feel aligned, and careers change, organizations change, you change. The version of you who built the career, the one who needed what that career gave, may be very different from the version of you now inhabiting it. What I see so often is this: the career was built during a period when a particular version of you needed what that career gave: validation, the achievement, the clarity of being good at something and being seen for it. And over time, that version has evolved. The needs have changed, the values have shifted, the career hasn't. And now you're trying to live inside something that was designed for a version of you, but you're not quite anymore. That's not failure, that's growth. But growth isn't comfortable when you haven't yet created the space to do anything with it. I want to be honest about what it costs to stay in a career that no longer fits the person you've become without examining what's happening. The first cost is energy. Performing a version of yourself at work that isn't quite you takes significantly more energy than being genuinely yourself. Every day involves a small maintenance effort. Holding the professional identity together, meeting expectations that were built around who you were rather than who you are. And that maintenance is tiring in a way that's very hard to trace back to its source. The second cost is integrity, not in a dramatic sense, but there's a specific low level discomfort that comes from knowing what you're doing doesn't reflect what you actually value. That discomfort is quiet and persistent. It doesn't resolve, it grows. And the third cost, honestly, is time. Every year that goes by inside a career that doesn't fit is a year not spent building something that does. That's not a guilt trip. It's just a fact about what we do with the time we have. I want to tell you what I see when women stop performing, though. They stop performing this and actually start looking at what's underneath it. The first thing that tends to happen is relief, not because anything has changed practically, but because naming what's actually happening is less frightening than carrying it unspoken. The thing you've been privately carrying without permission to take it seriously suddenly has a shape, and things with a shape can be worked with. The second shift is a separation many women have never consciously made. The separation between who they are and what they do. Those two things have been so tightly bound together that they feel like the same thing, and beginning to see them as distinct is the beginning of everything. Because once you can see what is you and what is the career, you can start asking what you actually want, not what the career requires, not what success has always looked like, what you as a person with your own values, your own remaining years actually want to do next. And that's not a small question. But the women who sit with it seriously describe something on the other side that's hard to put into words, but very easy to feel. They describe inhabiting their working life rather than managing it. Waking up on a Monday without the specific dread. Building something that is genuinely theirs, that's available. Not immediately and not without real work, but it is available. So, if this episode has touched something real, I want to offer you one thing before you go. The discomfort you're feeling is not a sign that you made a wrong decision. It's a sign that you've grown beyond the choices you made. Those are very different things. And growing beyond where you started is exactly what you were supposed to do. So, as always, a cuppa and a chat is a free conversation with me. Find out more and book at happier.co.uk. And I will be back next Wednesday. Until then, take care of you.